What's going on, Rebel Nation? I'm your host, Cassie Soto, joined by Rebels beat writer, my favorite Rebels beat writer, Mark Anderson. Of course, the only one, but always my favorite, Mark.
Well, thank you.
Well, things are wrapping up on this court after a pretty intense win that the Rebels somehow came away with. Back and forth, we weren't sure who was going to come away with this one. Managed to get the win, 77-72. You were just telling me you couldn't write your story because we didn't know who was going to win this thing.
Yes, for a beat writer, it's a stressful night when these night games go down to the end. But for fans, it was fun. But it looked like UNLV had some breathing room, up 7 with about 4 minutes to go, and then Air Force came back, and next thing you know, Air Force has the lead, but the Rebels wanted at the line, 6 free throws over the final half minute to win the game.
Well, won the game and didn't give up 100 points this time, so that was really good. The defense playing a big part in this game. Having Mbake on this court, suffering from an ankle injury, now he's back. Who had a better game, Amauri Hardy or Mbake Diong?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would have to give the edge to Amauri just because when UNLV's offense was kind of off to a slow start, he was the one guy making baskets. So we kept him in the game and kept Air Force within reach. And if he hadn't done that, Air Force probably would have had a double-digit lead at halftime, and who knows what happened second half. So he kept him in the game. But Diong was huge. He had a plus 15 rating, easily the best on the team. He had 4 fouls, so when he was out of the game, it was noticeable. When he was in there, though, he did a really nice job taking away that middle, and that's something they missed when they went there last month to Air Force. He was out with a sprained ankle, so having him tonight was huge.
Yeah, well, I want to mention it again. 106 points were given up to this team in Colorado Springs, but definitely keeping it to 72 this time. Marvin Menzies and Amauri Hardy mentioned that 106 was written in big letters on the board. How much of a redemption was this game?
Oh, well, you knew they wanted this game badly. Marvin Menzies didn't really have to say anything to his team, and he put it up there for them to see, sort of put it in the back of their minds. But I think they would have remembered that anyway. They were embarrassed up there, and that feeling stuck with them. So it was important, especially important now after they lost 4 out of 5, all by at least 17 points. They're heading a stretch where they can win some games, so they had to win tonight to take advantage of this stretch. And so now they go to San Jose State on Saturday, and they get Wyoming next Tuesday. They can win these games.
Yeah. And you mentioned San Jose State, a team that they handled pretty well here on this court right here. Now they'll be going to San Jose. What's that matchup look like? Do we think that that's another win? Maybe get some good momentum, getting closer and closer to the tournament?
Yeah, San Jose has one player, Noah Bauman, who's any kind of real threat, but it's really a team they should go up there and beat pretty easily. As you mentioned, they beat them easily here. There's no reason why UNLV can't win that game fairly easily. I don't know if you take momentum necessarily. It's just another step, but they really have to. And then Wyoming's another team. That'll be a much more difficult game because they always have trouble in Laramie, so the altitude and all that. But that's also another game they very well can win.
All right, well, Rebels will keep this momentum going, hopefully get the win a little bit further, closer to the end of the game, I should say, so Mark can get his story in. Don't keep it to the last second here, guys. Well, for Mark Anderson, I'm Cassie Soto. Once again, the Runnin' Rebs are on the road at San Jose State this Saturday. Be sure to check reviewjournal.com for all things Runnin' Rebs. We'll be back next week.